How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. An exciting shootout win at Madison Square Garden. They tie up the season series with the LA Kings, so the 2021-2022 season ends with a tie between the LA Kings and the Rangers. The Kings winning at home, the Rangers winning at home. Hedl is day to day, and Kakko is week to week, apparently with an injury. So those two out of the lineup. Hedl not for too long. Hopefully Kakko not for too long either, but he is week to week. So the lineup that we saw tonight could very well be a lineup that we see for the next couple games. That is until Hedl comes back. Kreider, Zibanejad, Panarin started on the top line. Lafreniere, Strome, Goudreau. McKegg, Rooney, Reeves, and then Hunt, Barron, and Gauthier on that bottom line. Gauthier would move around the lineup a little bit tonight. Panarin would move around. So some line shuffling tonight, especially towards the end of the game. Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, and then Hayek back in the lineup with Schneider. I don't know why Hayek keeps getting into this lineup. I'm speechless. I have no words. I don't know why Hayek keeps getting back into this lineup. There are several other better options than Hayek to put in this lineup. Now, I don't know, because Nemeth has been out of the lineup for personal reasons before. I think tonight he was just scratched in lieu of Hayek, but I have to ask myself why. What are you getting from Hayek that you don't get from Nemeth? I don't get it, and I don't think we ever will. Shesterkin was in net as well. He played pretty well. So 4 minutes in, shots 1-0 LA. So Rangers are trailing in shots. They do that a lot this season, but LA not really generating much offense either. 6.5 minutes in, we get the first kind of hard-working shift from the Rangers in the game from the second line, but still only one shot in the game 6.5 minutes into the game. 10-25, Trouba takes a high sticking penalty. Schneider on the second penalty kill unit, so good for him. I think we should be giving Schneider more chances to shine, because I think he's the real deal. He's been showing it for the past, 6-7 games that he's been in so far. LA stayed in the offensive zone the whole time, but they did kill it off. Panarin with a sharp angled look with about 5 minutes left in the period. Shesterkin with a great save on Brown shortly after that. 16-22. Good old former Ranger Brendan Lemieux gets a 5-minute major and a game misconduct for boarding. He pushed Lindgren. He hit Lindgren into the boards, got him in the numbers. Lindgren goes crashing into the boards, has to get his nose patched up. They video review it to check that it is indeed a 5-minute major. They video review, they come back, it is indeed a 5-minute major, game misconduct. He's out for the rest of the game. So he plays 16.5 minutes of this game, and then he's gone, which is fine. I was never really a fan of Lemieux, so the less I see him, the better. Gives him less opportunity to bite people. So there's 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, because Lindgren does get a cross-checking penalty in retaliation to the hit. But after that, the Rangers get 3 minutes of power play time, and Kreider would score at 19:57. His 13th power play goal of the season and his 30th goal of the season. The first one in the NHL this season to crack 30 goals. He sits atop the entire league in goals scored. What a season he's having. Fox held onto it. Beautiful pass in front. Kreider's able to put it away. Shots 11-3 at the end of this first period. 11-3, and the Rangers are winning the game. I don't know how. I don't know how they do it. They have 1 minute and 21 seconds of power play time left to start the second period, and they generated chances, but nothing would happen. Reeves loses his stick and tries to kick the puck to a teammate, but it leads to a Los Angeles scoring chance. Luckily, Shesterkin was able to fight that off. 5 minutes in, Miller and Strome almost connect, but then Strome is knocked down, and he struggles to the bench, where he would sit for a couple minutes, but he would rejoin the game and not have to go to the locker room. 7 minutes in, Quick completely robs Truba. Just, you watch the replay, and he just had his glove in the right spot and just freaking robbed Truba of a goal. Truba knocks down Iafallo, breaks his stick, gets wrapped up by Iafallo. He was on the ground. Truba was trying to skate away. Iafallo had his legs wrapped around Truba's legs, so he's like trying to get away. Truba doesn't have a stick, it's broken, but he still ends up getting free and making a sliding play to make, I forget who it was, it might have been Doughty, get him to do something different with the puck, and they didn't end up scoring. So a hard-working shift for Truba. Strom gets net front and swipes at a covered puck, and he pays the price for it. Quick able to cover it. Strom swipes at it to try and get a last-minute dig, and he's surrounded by LA Kings. 9 minutes in, Gauthier is sprung for a good chance. Eventually, he's going to score on one of those. And then at 11:55, Lizotte would score the first goal of the game for the Kings. Streaking down the ice, he uses Truba as a screen. He's able to bury it right over Shesterkin's shoulder. Hayek goes to the locker room, but he would come back shortly after. 14:28, Deneau takes a tripping penalty. Fury of chances in the first minute of that power play. Power play 2, Gauthier has a look. They end up with 5 shots on the power play, but none of them would go in. Panarin completely undresses a Kings player, and a backhand looks like, at first glance, it looks like it goes in, but it goes off the crossbar. It would have been a phenomenal goal. Panarin thought it went in. Some other people did too, but the ref waved it off, and the replay showed it did go off the crossbar. So bad luck for Panarin. 18:41, Gaudreau takes a high-sticking double minor. It was initially just a 2-minute minor, but they looked at the player. I don't know who it was that got high-sticked, but his nose was bleeding a little bit, so it ends up being a double minor. And on that power play, Iafallo would score to put the Kings up 2-1. Shots 12-12 for both teams in that second period. So Rangers going from only generating 3 shots in period 1 to 12 in period 2. That's in the right direction. Still, this team is very slow to start recently, and they need to switch that up. Third period, Kings still have 1 minute and 23 seconds of power play time. 3.5 minutes in, Zibanejad is set up in the slot, and then from a Gauthier pass, because Gauthier is now on the top line with Zibanejad and Kreider. 6:09, Mata takes a high sticking penalty. Shesterkin, big save on a shorthanded chance by the Kings. 8:56, Lafreniere takes a boarding call. It was an awful call. He was just finishing a check, but the ref thought it was boarding. Needs to get his eyes checked. Good penalty kill by the Rangers, though. Shesterkin, couple of good saves to keep him in the game, middle of that third period. Panarin with a big chance in the slot, but he misses wide. And then at 14:15, Gaudreau scores a beautiful deflection goal from a Panarin point shot. He ends up deflecting it across the crease, and it ends up just sneaking right into the net. So the Rangers tie it late in the third. Shesterkin, big save on a deflection shortly after that. 18:46, Kempe takes a tripping penalty. Rangers aren't able to score, so it goes to overtime. End of the third period, shots 11-10 for LA. So LA does get the shot total in their favor again. We get to overtime. Rangers get 46 seconds of power play, not able to do anything with it. And then the two teams play 4-on-4 for the rest of overtime. There was not a single whistle in the entirety of overtime. So instead of 3-on-3 overtime, we get 4-on-4 for the majority of overtime. That doesn't happen very often. But nobody scores in overtime. We go to the shootout. Kempe starts, Shesterkin stops him. Then Kreider also gets stopped. Arvidsson goes, and he gets stopped. Then Zibanejad goes, and he gets stopped as well. So we're in the third round. Kopitar scores. So Panarin has to score to keep it going, and indeed he does. He gets it 5-hole, and they tie it in the third round. So we go to round 4. Iafallo goes, and he does not score. Strom tries to win it and is unsuccessful. So we go to round 5. Byfield, in his third NHL game, scores. So Lafreniere has to score to keep it going, and indeed he does. So we go to round 6. Kaliev goes, and he does not score. So it's up to Fox. He can win it in the 6th round, and indeed he does. A nifty forehand to backhand. He lodges it in the back of the net near the water bottle holder, and he ices the game for the Rangers in the 6th round of the shootout, 3-2. Rangers are 28-11-4, still holding on to number 1 in the Metropolitan Division with now 30-goal scorer Chris Kreider, something that we were not able to say until this point in his career. So a big congratulations to him. Stats at the end of the game, I completely forgot to put them on the board, so I have no idea what they are. Apologies for that. But the trivia question of the evening: who was the last Rangers player to lead the NHL in goals? Now, I thought maybe Rick Nash had done it, and if there's ever a goal-scoring question with the Rangers, Jaromir Jagr's name is always going to be in there. But apparently, it was way back in 1941-1942, which was only a 48-game season. It was Lynn Patrick, who had 32 goals. So there you go. The Rangers have a couple nights off. They're playing again Thursday evening in Columbus, a team that is middling. You know, they've had their struggles, so it should be another win for the Rangers, be able to string together 3 wins in a row for the first time in a couple weeks. And then they come back home Friday to play the Minnesota Wild, and that is Hank's retirement night. So on Friday, be sure to tune in early for the number retirement for Lundqvist. That will be a fun night. But yeah, a great win for the Rangers, pushing forward and staying high up in the standings and really just solidifying their playoff spot. Pittsburgh, they went on that 10-game tear, and now I believe they're on another 5-game win streak right now, I think. And they've pushed themselves up to 2nd in the Metropolitan, pushing for 1st. And Capitals have kind of fallen off lately. They've lost in overtime or shootout 9 times so far this season. That is crazy. Boston is currently, as of this video, in the 2nd wildcard spot with 50 points. Now, the Rangers currently have 60, I believe. Yeah. Rangers have 60 points right now. Boston has 50 in the 2nd wildcard. So, Rangers are 10 points into the playoff picture, which is comfortable. They can continue to play 500 hockey for the rest of the season and probably still make the playoffs. They won't do that. They'll probably play 600 hockey, 650 hopefully. But we'll have to see what happens from here on out. After the next couple games, the Rangers do get a little bit of a break in February before they make up a couple of the postponed games from earlier in the season. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.